Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you guys another session of solo leveling. It's been a long ass time since we last did a discussion. I missed out on a few live reactions and a few reviews because of some time complications. But currently, I think we should be able to catch up on some ideas and some recent chapters, and then I'll be able to lock back onto the reviews on a current status. Um, that being said, let me send out this link real fast, and then we can get it popping. I want to remind you guys that if you guys want to support the streams, support the channel, support the Discord, you can join our Patreon. We have different tiers for different things, including the raw, uncut footage of the One Punch Man podcast, different inside polls, scripts to different videos. You get your name in the credits of certain particular videos that you can request, and or the podcast itself, different shit like that. If you just want to support in general, you can do the same shit too. All right. So I think we're good to go. So one of the things I wanted to start off with, because there's a lot that should to cover. I think I'm gonna go from like 70 something, like 76, 77. That's like around the last time where I did like a review, a reaction. So when Sung Jin Woo was selling one of the knives, he mentioned that he spent 2.8 million gold, and the appraiser that was there for the weapons, he said that the dagger could at least for 100 million. So it's really interesting to see what could develop later on in terms of how Sung could manipulate or not manipulate that system, because him making that thought or making that comment is alluding to that exactly, and it's not really broken, but it is a way to where you're finessing money. It's a quick, easy business. It's he's the only one that can exploit it too. So technically this is kind of shady, but it's put here for a reason. So I want to see what kind of money trouble Sung avoids or doesn't have to deal with. Remember before when he was in E rank, a lot of this shit had to do with money. He had a poor ass fucking salary and shit like that. He couldn't really afford to take care of his mom, and he was missing things. Now the priorities turned into utilizing these magical items to help heal his mother, because he's found that he can do that. But the money aspect can be improved to a certain extent. I'm just waiting to see how the money's really how he's gonna really utilize the money, or how it's next gonna become exceptionally relevant. Because all these fucking, if you guys remember, all these fucking high ass guilds, they're recruiting people by offering them tons of fucking money and shit. Remember before Sung was finessing and shit that one recruiter from the other guild. I forgot the guild's name, but the White Tigers, I think it was, or was it the I think it was the Hunters Guild. Whatever, either way, whoever it was. And he finessed them to get that money out them niggas and shit like that. So he's about this shit like that. But all these fucking guilds are rich as fuck. So somehow Sung is going to have money or receive money. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but we'll see how it's done. Cause it's just starting a business on your own. I'm not sure, they don't pay hunters nothing or something like that. I guess they pay them, but that's a guild that pays him, not a random anything. It's a guild, so if he's not in the guild, he is the guild. He's gonna pay you, you're gonna make money. So let's find out how that shit works out. Because that weapon system could be the exploit. We're talking about hundreds of millions of wongs. Hundreds of millions of wongs. Billions of wongs, possibly, if he does it correctly and efficiently. And we already know how solo leveling does those subtle time skips and shit. It's very, very possible for something like that to happen. Let's see. Alright, and then another huge pop-up, I know I mentioned it before, but this is gonna be really prevalent, is the S rank hunter bike, leader of the White Tiger Guild. He's starting to really understand what's going on with Sung, where he's at least alluding to it or investigating it. So this could be an instance where somebody could be close to figuring out the leveling system. I know previously we got a small little scare, it was a minor scare, not too not too dangerous, but it could have been. It could have been annoying when the association sent those hunters to go talk to Sung or keep an eye on Sung. They didn't know where he went for quite a while or for some time period. They were asking around for him, snooping and shit. I thought that something was gonna come out of that, but it didn't. Hopefully, or great, thankfully. So to have now this S rank hunter and then Choi, the woman from the Hunters Guild or whatever, the other S rank hunter, having interest in Sun Jin-woo as well, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. They've both, or she experienced, like with her eyes, the capability of Sun Jin-woo on the battlefield at the time period, and the dangerous situation or the biggest complication about this entire scenario is the fact that Sung has shown the association how strong he is at this point. Bike knows that he's gotten a lot stronger, but officially now he's this strong. The problem is Sung continues to level up, so eventually it's going to become a problem where he's going to have to like make it clear, make it apparent that he hasn't like increased or like there's going to be more deception on Sung's part is required in order to maintain the facade or to maintain like or to protect the leveling system. I'm not even sure like what type of damage, what kind of effect does people knowing that he continuously levels up has. I don't know what implication that is, or if there are others that have that. When we first started the story, we were discussing are there other players and shit. Basically, are there other people who've been offered this? Because what's to say that somebody else didn't have the same courage that Sung had over in the S rank dungeon up against God, and they were left. You know, what if somebody else had that? Couldn't they have become that? Or is it only Sung who could have become or could have been accepted by the leveling system? So it's to be seen how that's gonna play out. Cause I'm yeah. Let's leave it at that. Let's see how Bike's investigations play out. So Sung got his S rank license and shit. You know, he's doing his thing out there, looking really impressive and shit. A long ass fucking time. It's been quite a few chapters. We're in like the 70s now. And it's been a nice journey and shit. We've seen like from the pits and falls of the bottom, and we've stayed there, so we experienced it, and that was really cool to see the contrast from then and now. And just the journey and shit. I will say that I do feel like some parts in between have been like really quick. Like Sung is shooting up there, but it's because he's consistently going through these like trials and tribulations all the time. He's putting in that fucking work. So, I am glad to see Sun Jin-woo out there, like, you know, putting in that fucking work on screen, because that's what the fuck we need. He also took the initiative to create his own guild in response to like receiving his S rank license. Something that we didn't expect exactly, but we were kind of alluding to, where we were hoping that could have happened. You know, why would you join somebody else's guild because you're that strong? You know, the prospects of that are cool. It happen a lot of times in different manga or anime, but creating your own guild is also pretty cool in this instance too. I'm excited to see, as mentioned before, the journey of how it goes to making your own guild. In solo leveling, they always depict and show those parts and detail them, which is always fucking great for world building and like just leveling instances. It's really really cool. So I'm glad that we have this opportunity to become the fucking strongest. Because as Bike said, if you have the ability to continue leveling up, why would you join anybody? They're just gonna become the best, guaranteed. So making your own is the best option. So he's gonna become the best. We are going to see that. It's just what are the obstacles that are coming between the way of that. I'm excited to see this shit because we now. I don't want to spoil. We'll leave this to the end, but like I guess we got another nation level hunter in proximity or in relevance of South Korea. So we'll see how that plays out. Jinho. Jinho's a cool character. He's been around for a little while. He's had shared trauma with Sung, so we are connected to the character. And he's been through his own like issues as well, and he's strived and he's overcome them as well on screen. So I do fuck with Jinho, and he's actually decided to like throw away the endeavor of having his own guild to join Sung's. Now, with more time since this has happened to reflect on this, I'm not so sure how I feel about this anymore. Like, yeah, it's cool, and I want it because I want to see them together, and like they were a good team from the first place, and like Jinho wasn't completely useless. He was like, logistically capable, mostly because of his backers, his father's backing, but still, he was still competent. But now he's throwing all that chance away. His father offered him a fucking guild and shit. He told him why he wanted a guild because he needed protection, and he said no. He'll be joining fucking Sun's guild. So I can kind of see why his dad was like tripping and shit like that. At the same time, I can kind of see this side. That's what I'm confused on. Like, I feel like he's less for not taking that endeavor, having his own shit, and joining somebody else. I feel lesser of him for that. But at the same time, I respect him because he's willing to support Sung. And he wants to be with that nigga in terms of, like, teaming up a squad and shit, because Sung is, like, the nigga. And, like, it makes sense. Like, this, you're not going to find another nigga like Sung. So, like, it takes it away. It's like, yeah, like, all right, bet. Like, if you go squad up with anybody, why not would it be Sung? Yeah. Um, we also got like the whole explanation of like world hunters, like we mentioned before, from Jinho's dad, and how he's like weary of the control and the power that they have, and how it could escalate, and how it has been escalating, and what the consequences of that could be in the future. So, once again, solo leveling is doing huge foreshadowing of possibilities, um, possible outcomes and scenarios, different influences that could or could not occur. It's just fucking bad on different scales for different reasons. We're talking about like Sun could probably like become a millionaire from manipulating fucking the leveling system and shit like that, and actual real world money. Fucking, we're talking about niggas finding out fucking about Sun's actual power and shit. We're talking about nigga, like there's so many connections and shit just around like all of what's going on, and to add the fact that like the hunters or the strength of the hunters gradually on a world scale is also like becoming something to like keep an eye on. That's another plot point that's gonna be super interesting. Like we're talking about like this is how you build true end game shit. Like not like next arc or the next few arcs. I'm talking about like if solo leveling has like 15 different like huge world ending endeavors, this is foreshadowing the final one. So I'm let's see how this shit plays out, bro. Once again, like the introduction of world level hunters in that chapter was pretty fucking cool. It was controversial to a certain extent because we've been through about like fucking 60, 70 plus chapters without any relevance or without any understanding that that was even a thing. We just knew that like we're actually like showing the contrary, that there wasn't a real way that the Koreans had to measure people above like the S. They can't distinguish between S, SS, or triple S or whatever. And now we find out that there's a tier probably completely above those as well, much stronger, able to rival entire nations on end, several S classes together. So we'll see. We know that South Korea is strong, but it's not one of the strongest things out there. Japan's is notified. I guess has a reputation of being one of the stronger hunter systems out there and shit. Not the strongest. There's no like definitive rank given to them, but they are one of the more modern and advanced ones. So it there's shit to be done here. We'll see how like once again this is the plot point I can push forward to as well, but we'll see how South Korea improves along the way because this is their first of all because he got his license, their 10th S rank hunter. He's fucking gonna be capable as fuck. Um, like with the strength that they already have that's unknown to us, South Korea probably isn't like weak at all whatsoever. And I'm like, just the feel that I'm getting from like these world class, calling people world class and shit like that, it kind of feels like they're implying that like one of these guys could fight a nation like South Korea. Like there's probably there. It sounds like they're saying that like, oh, there's multiple people out there that we couldn't like beat easily if all of us teamed up and shit. Alright, that makes sense for Sung's continued scaling and amplifications. It should fit in there, but we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. Um, some little interesting shit that happened along the way. Sung went out there to get some equipment for the fucking demon castle, as you said. Selling a dagger, getting that coat. or whatever, that ring and shit like that. Just a bunch of shit to help him equip against the demon castle. And it's interesting that like it's affecting him that much. Somebody as high level as Sung Jin Woo really tells you how difficult the demon castle is as you get higher up in the floors. He was about 75 floors in, entering the 76 when he first equipped it and entered the dungeon with those armaments. So we'll see how they play out in terms of like big ass fights, or if there's a sticky situation that someone gets into, if those things actually could make a difference or actively like show out. Um, the robe's design looks fucking badass. Sung's current like design in the floors 60 76 and up of fucking of the demon castle so far. And he looks fucking like he's pretty fucking fit, bro. He's sitting there chilling, giving out orders or whatever, like a fucking commander and shit. Like he's that nigga right now. Another thing that also we actually saw was before actually entering the demon castle, Sung decided to attach. I didn't know he could do this, but we found out he could. He could attach shadows to other people's shadows, apparently. Soldiers to people's shadows or whatever. Because we know how it works for him. They're in his shadow. And one of the recent chapters, I think the most recent chapter, actually depicted an example of that, where somebody was able to see the soldiers actively in his shadow. So, like, not absurd or crazy or out of the ordinary, out of the belief. He just didn't really, like, expect him to be able to do that. But he did. So, he sent some soldiers out as well to patrol the neighborhood, the official neighborhood watch of his area, which is pretty fucking cool and badass. And he's protecting his sister indefinitely with a high orc and some subordinates for that, indefinitely within her shadow. So it's pretty cool to see Sung starting to do that. It's the first instance of him being like a world level hunter or a nation level hunter. And that's the thing that I would like expect of a nation level hunter, to actually be protecting the nation indefinitely on its own. Kind of like a nuclear device, if not something different like defense systems, whatever you want to call it, however you want to refer to it. But I am envisioning, whenever I was introduced to the world level hunter, that they could fight nations on their own, that these people would be like doing those things, like protecting entire nations on their own, dealing diplomatically with other nations on their own, and something like that, having extreme power. I wouldn't even be surprised if the president of the United States or some people associated with the president of the United States are world level hunters. So we'll see. And as like they reference the United States as well in one of the recent chapters. I think about like not wanting to cooperate when the S rank recently opened up, S rank gate. I'm not sure if it was Juju Island exactly, but we'll see how they elaborate upon that, because the tensions across the seas have been weird. Even this guy here that's showing up, the new world hunter that was appeared in the picture, he seems tropical with his attire. Not South Korean exactly. He doesn't appear to be exactly like the other guys, but it doesn't look that much different. Like the way that this author draws the South Koreans doesn't really seem like anything in particular different. And that's mostly because like we're in South Korea, so everybody's gonna look how they look. But I'll be more interested to see in the contrast as we experience more nations. Excuse me, more nations. I think Russia was mentioned, China was mentioned. I think, I'm not sure if I'm just pulling that out of my ass or if I actually remember that. I was watching some shit. I'm not sure. But we know the other nations exist and other nations are relevant in terms of hunter systems. So we'll see how the character designs contrast to the South Koreans and how different the other decides to make him. Because this guy, he could be South Korean. I can see it, but like I don't know. He definitely doesn't resemble, or doesn't like give off the feel of it. Um, so yeah, Sung's out there protecting niggas and shit. That'll be bad. I see how that grows out and how that develops on a larger end. How when he starts to defend like not just not his neighborhood area, maybe like an entire city or some shit like that, or a few cities or something like that. We'll see how fast it gets to that point. And then once entering the that's from dungeon, he's given notification of rewards possible once we finish the stuff. And I guess Shadow Exchange is one of the runestone rewards that he could get. I'm not really exactly sure how that works, what that is. But we'll find out. It seems like he'd be badass. Quick note though on that I was thinking about as well too, about Jinho's dad and Sung's mom. They're both from that state or whatever. It's funny that like that's happened. Now that like son is endeavoring to get that water, that holy water for his mother. I wonder if like there'll be some like moral implication in between like saving Junho's dad and like his mom, or like continuing the suffering of his mom to save Junho's dad, or some shit like that. I'm wondering if that'll play out, cause if money is the fucking the way to fucking save this shit, then it's gonna mean that like the holy water is the only way, or the preferable way, which it already is. I'm just saying like they were talking about like, oh, niggas that don't have money can't really deal with this shit. So we'll see. Um, so the ants, the ants are scary. When they first showed up walking down the road to those two like deer countries or whatever, it was fucking like one of the scariest sights. They even posted about it on Twitter and shit. So I got to look at the description from my Twitter. Um, these guys were like, or this guy was like, I'll just tell you the stats. 600. Well, the stats are kind of weird and lopsided. I still haven't really like put sense of why they should be lopsided, or like the most reasonable reason why they would be lopsided. But like, he only killed 600s, but there were 108 hunters deployed. And I say six because I guess that was like the assault team once they reached the second part. But he killed several. I guess like the two hunters that we saw actually like patrolling and shit like that. I'm not sure if they're incorporated into the six. So let's assume they're not. Call that 8 hunters, right? 294 civilians. 108 hunters were set out in total, and they justified it by saying that we sent them in because they could fly and escape and shit. So it goes on a rampage, kills like 200 something people, right? And or whatever, 294 people, and then the fucking 108 niggas come and they only kill 6 of them. Overwhelming force to attack it. Bet. That's what it seems like. But like, damn, like 294 people. And it moved the islands after the first assault too. So it's, and this is one ant. Like they're saying it's more like a bee, but they wouldn't call it ants, so we'll refer to it as that. I guess we can call it bee ants or ant bees, whatever you want to call it. But damn, bro, like um there's also the people in the chat, Sean Harris, Pierce Jupiter, Joseph. Sean Harris, if you go into the link in the description in Discord, or we can provide you the link to that. I can't really do that right now. My hands full. But I use Holy Manga. All right. So back to addressing the points. So that was kind of ridiculous, and I could say it's ridiculous, but the incident in general is ridiculous. So maybe taking this stance isn't crazy. Maybe them taking this stance is appropriate, or maybe it's common. I'm not sure, because what I'm trying to get at is like how is this gonna escalate? It's all about escalations, and like because these are the beginning seeds of what's gonna happen later on. Once again, like, this is just one ant. There's an entire army of them. If one can get across, then imagine a few more having that same endeavor, and then imagine when they actually are intelligent enough to find the most efficient way to get across. And what if they start to be able to just do that naturally? So, if we're talking about 50,000 ants or 50 ants, let's start at 50 first, right? One took out 294 civilians. It was granted the scenarios and the locations were a prime instinct. You know, if it would happen in the middle of South Korea, probably I would say about half of that would have died, right? You know, in the middle of a city, there are hunters around quickly. Things can escalate quickly, but like people can come and de-escalate them just as quickly, especially with the amount of like S-rank hunters in the area. There weren't any S-rank hunters in the vicinity of this place, and the reinforcements I don't think we're going to be able to send an S-rank hunter like that. So 294 seems appropriate for the scenario. And even then, it only required the highest, an A rank hunter, to be able to do that. So, either way, it's powerful. But the maximum seems to be an A rank hunter with a bunch of other guys. Imagine 50 of them, right? 50 A rank hunters now required. With, are we going to say that fucking you need 108 hunters for that? You about to send like five K and shit? Like, come on, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you're gonna need entire armies and you don't have that number. They said it themselves. They don't have that many hunters like that, and especially capable hunters. We're sending a lot of niggas to die out there for no reason and shit. Sure, the civilians are going down, but like this island shit, like just by starting, just by having this first little step happen, even we could even consider it downplay still. Like having this be a plausibility now puts all of them at huge ass risk. Like enough to declare like we don't have the ability to deal with this. So realistically, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that like within the next two arcs, or like probably even the next arc, we're gonna have to be dealing with Juju Island. It may be even like the current arc is gonna be like leading into dealing with Juju Island. Because really, the only thing that's going on is Sunjin making his own guild. He just got his license and shit, and he's back into the demon tower to fucking try to get that crash shit to get his mom out. We don't know if he's gonna have to pop out again like he did before. He got the 50 and shit, but they had to pop out. It took a long ass time. He got to level 80, where he met Elsie, but it's been 2 days since that. 2 days of fighting and shit, and then he encountered Elsie, was able to like make some progress through that. But like, if that wouldn't have happened, or if Elsie would have ran away successfully from like that, he would have been stuck looking around for the entry gate for more time. So, uh, if Sung, it depends on how long Sung deals with this. This will look like some Kargalin situation, even though Kargalin could have played out a bit longer. But this could be more, it could be less. It seems like it should be more because there's a plot line now of interest. This person seems like a capable diplomat. The Redir King, the Redir clan's king. Excuse me. So he may be like trying to swindle and talk or whatever and shit to like cool shit down. Sung's already been put out like conditions so that he can leave and there won't be any like conflict there, stipulations and shit. So it'll probably go that way with some like secret machinations or scheming on either of their ends, both of their ends actually, because we know Sung's always ready for some shit. And then it may like blow up, possibly most likely to blow up because we need to see these guys fight. But I don't know. Regardless of that, I don't think giving up the entry pass is actually like optimal. Um, she doesn't make it seem like a big deal, but at the same time, and neither does he. But at the same time, I don't know why they'd be defending or like the entry passes would be like at these prime locations if they weren't supposed to be actively defending it. So just because they're sentient, I don't think it means they're not actually defending or that they're not aware of the fucking like entry passes. Entry passes have to have some significance to these demons. They must know about it. They're not just actively or blindly protecting them. So I think there's definitely a scheme going on here, and he's not just gonna give him the entry pass. He may give it to him with a catch after that as well too, depending on how it goes. But I don't think the downplay of like the significance of the entry passes is accurate. Um, what else? What's next? Alright, so one of the cool things that we did see whenever Sung got to level 80 was that he started to split up his army into like different portions of the course. Um, for a while, it's been like a group like this. You know, he'll bring out a certain warrior for some shit like that, or like the guys have come out. We've had this aspect of badassery of his unit, but like now that we've gotten to a larger scale and they're actually doing things independently without him having to control them or being in the same battlefield, it's starting to look like super badass and super like autonomously like, hey, I'm fucking with it, bro. Like the autonomous control the army, like having them niggas do their shit like because they can, because that's basically what they are, the commanders. And now giving the commanders responsibility to do what they gotta do, and having them like gain experience from it, level up from it and shit, get their ass beat or whatever because they're not invincible. We've seen that several times now. Even Idris can be beaten. So we'll see. I guess they avoided Tusk too in one of the confrontations, but we split them up into it was the High Orc A team, High Orc B team, the Tank team, the Idris team, Tusk team, Iron team, and they're all doing fucking pretty good up until Elsie's, I guess, assault force started to come around and start ambushing them, and she's fucking pretty strong too. When Sung actually got to see her like face to face or head on, he called her a demon noble. So how she was fighting or like how her people were fighting or whatever. But before that, she managed to take out Iron's team, and she managed to take out Idris's team and a Hierarch B team, um, I guess Hierarch A team, and the Tank team as well. The only one that she didn't take down was the Tusk. I'm thinking it's because of the matchup. It's pretty fucking impressive too. Right when we came into the fucking castle and shit, Tusk came out there with the orb and fucking showed the fuck off. I'm talking about a true dragon level threat. Like, I'm like completely obliterated that shit. Turned into a giant. Took out a fucking big ass demon, a bunch of other high ass demons, the highest demon there, and just eviscerated the fucking city area, bro. Like that shit was like fucking multiple city blocks. It was a portion of the city. Very, very, very impressive on Cardinal's part, and Sung's really up there because of that, bro. Like, you know that the shadows are the individuals to become weaker because they're shadows, and they have to come back to those higher levels. But still, man, the Orbital Avarice, as Sung mentioned, is fucking did everything with that nigga, bro. He's strong as fuck now, bro. Like, damn, bro. It's hard as fuck to fight Sung, bro. But that being the case, LC was able to assault a bunch of different ones while avoiding Tusk, as we mentioned. And then Sung was able to calculate who should be the next target. And of course, it was Tank's team. So as Tank's team starts getting bited, whenever he comes in there, he starts attacking some of the higher excuse me, the high demons and shit that are with the Noble, right? So they're in there flying and they cut in half and shit. Comes in and starts putting in that work as well. She actually took out like good portions of the buildings behind Sung, and Sung was actually having to dodge or whatever. It wasn't anything crazy, and he actually quickly incapacitated her. But at the same time, she was pretty fucking impressive, bro. Like, I liked seeing her little scalpel there. She obviously proved her worth and her soldiers' worth by taking down several of the teams and shit. I'm assuming that there was an encounter between Idris and her, and Idris lost. So it probably says something about the situation. They were taking down Tank's big ass fucking ice bears like nothing, bro. Like fucking nothing. So LC has value because she's experiencing the same glitches as the leveling system that Baruka experienced and shit. And she's giving us information. So apparently, the demons, or the Redir clan in particular, most likely the Redir clan, to get more information, were brought here from the Demon World. In the Demon World, they were preparing for war. The implications of that, like, that war, and this is all theory, was what Sung Jinwoo's father was talking about. And there's a certain individual that's threatening all of them that requires all the demons to unite. We don't know who that is. That stopped. We don't know who that is. What that is. I believe it should be Sung, but I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll find out because it seems to be very, very powerful. Because they weren't involved in the system. And it seems the system can affect real life things like nothing. So once again, this magical power is crazy, and I don't know what's going on here. Regardless of that instance, she knows where all the entry passes are. She's gonna take them to us, or take us to them, every single one. That's what Sung's proposing, at least to her father, along with the entry pass. So most likely it may play out that way, as like the Redir clan's king was like fucking flailing around and shit from being so nervous because Sung brought his army in there, all his niggas and shit. It was like, pretty apparent that he wasn't comfortable with the situation. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here, how strong this guy is or how strong he isn't. Because Sung was talking about this is a boss room. Like, if he would have fought his way in here, this would be where the final shit was. And the Redir killing king is here. So we'll see. Because they had the devotion, they had to protect this area, protect this portion for a particular reason. So it could be said that, like, contrary to what I was saying before, that they actually don't know about the entry passes or whatever, that they don't have that much value to them, and they're just protecting the area. But at the same time, they're walking up here. They're sentient ones. Like, if Elsie can show emotion, why couldn't her father show emotion? Why couldn't her father want to just survive or whatever? That's what Elsie wanted to do. Why is she so different from all the other ones? She's not actually. The system controls her just as much. So we could leave here without conflict. That seems a possibility. But I think it's more likely for us to leave here with conflict and shit. Alright, I think that was about it. Just a quick mention for the demon grades. I was gonna do a video about it, but I think we just mentioned it here. So demon grades should be low rank demons are D rank, middle rank demons are C rank, high demons are B rank, highest demons are A rank. Um, and then you got ancient demons apparently are A rank plus, and then nobles are referred to as S rank. So I guess we could put her. I don't know exactly if she should be in the S in the noble category because she only showed one thing, but she was ambushing the entire groups. She basically showed that like she could fuck up the majority of Sung's army individually, aside from Sung himself. So there's some speculation to be had there. I think she more suitably fits the ancient rank, but he verbally said noble. So I'm gonna just use what Sung said until it's otherwise addressed. Um, all right, but like I said, it was a fucking good ass fucking chapter and shit. Let me see the chat saying. You can read it on Kiss Manga. It's illegal, but you can. What up? Thanks, yo. It was good, Dank. What's up, Messiah? But yeah, bro. I think that's about it for discussion. I was fucking super excited about this chapter in particular. Seeing that new World of a Hunter, badass fucking design with the tropical shit and the tats on his leg and his arm and shit like that. Sung's design, as I mentioned, fucking badass. Seeing this Redeer clan kind of reminds me of vampires to a certain extent with their demons, but they still look cool regardless. So I'm excited to see what they play out. Their leader does seem wimpy, and I'm kind of upset about that. I kind of wanted like a guy with his design to be super badass and just fucking tough as fuck like Baruka was, but it's just the beginning. So I'm kind of like getting ahead of myself. We'll see how that plays out. LC seems to be going to join along with Sung. I don't know how long it's gonna play out. I don't think he can take her out of the demon castle without killing her. But what happens if he does kill her? And can he take her out without killing her? Like, I'm not sure how that's gonna like work, bro. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. She already betrayed him one time, but I don't think she's in a scenario to betray him again. But the game has so much control over her that like it could probably force her to like kill him. If it could like knock her out, what else could it do? So maybe Sun will have to end up killing Elsie. Maybe his own ambitions or intellect will force him or lead him into killing Elsie regardless of that. Even if she's been showing like loyalty. Sung does do some like weird shit. Or maybe it's not weird, it's calculated. But more morally it wouldn't be like the key thing to do. Or like the, heads up, hey, great guy type shit to do. So we'll see. We gonna see. I think that was about the last point. Sung versus the Ant, so I'm not sure how well that could do. An A rank, he could beat an Ant. His soldiers could definitely beat ants. His generals would definitely beat them. I'm talking about the soldiers in particular, if they could beat ants. Because the neighborhood watch was like just regular knights or whatever, but like they're pretty strong now. They were leveling up just like Tank was. So whatever. All right, like the video, guys. I mentioned before, join our Discord and shit like that to come through and chat about solo leveling all the time. And we'll see you guys next time, man. Yo ho ho!